New World now has its first expansion since launch with the Rise of the Angry Earth update, which they announced around about a week ago at the time of recording this video. Now this update brings with it a lot of brand new content, and while we did have the Brimstone Sands update just a while back, that wasn't a full expansion, whereas this is going to be a paid for expansion. It's looking around the $30 mark at this point, and it does bring with it a lot of new content. Now the name of it is the Rise of the Angry Earth, which comes with it a new story, it comes with it mounts, new progression, i.e. that you can get your character level from 60 to 65, and also gear score is going up to 700, with the current highest availability being 625. Now, something to caveat that with for anybody that is currently playing the game or has played the game since the Umbral system came into it, that is actually going to be removed. So getting up to 700 gear score is going to be basically from drops, and that is basically it. There's going to be no Umbral Shard system involved. Also, there has been an increase to trade skills, now being a new level of 250. However, there hasn't been any confirmation as far as I am aware on what that will do in terms of expertise levels, whether these will pause until you get your new skills to 250 and then restart, or whether you'll keep the ones you already have. That is unclear. There will also be a new faction quest and new faction tier, and it says here on the website that it is going to be loaded with desirable faction gear and items, so we'll have to wait and see what that is about. There is also a new gear rarity, which is going to be artifacts, which are going to be like the 700 gear score, really good, basically end game items that everybody is going to want to pick up. And along with this, we are seeing the introduction of a brand new weapon, which is going to be the flail. Now, the flail is going to be a versatile one-handed weapon with the option for an offhand shield, so you can use arcane magic to enhance attacks and buff allies or debuff enemies for an easier victory. So this is going to be a really cool addition to the game, in my opinion, and something very nice for both those players that want to have a kind of magic tank combo, whilst also still being that hefty unit that is going to be able to tank those expeditions and PvE content as well. So that should be a really fun addition. Now, the whole premise of the Rise of the Angry Earth update is that the zone of First Light has now been taken over and transformed into a new zone called Elysian Wilds. Now, this is going to come with all brand new content, including a new expedition called the Savage Divide. There is also going to be a new Heart Rune ability called Primal Fury, which we can probably bet will drop from there. And it has also been confirmed that this zone is going to contain brand new resources that are probably going to be used in the crafting of the 700 gear score. And obviously they will require level 250 on some of your harvesting skills in order to be able to obtain these resources, and probably in turn the refining and crafting and so on as well. Now, something to note on the crafting front as well there is that the random or gamble element of this, where they could potentially come at any gear score within a range, has been taken out, and it's now going to depend exactly what materials you use is going to give you a guaranteed gear score. So in other words, you will eventually be able to craft exactly 700 gear score, which is going to be the best gear score an item can have. At some point in the game, once this comes out and we get hands-on, I'll bring you guys a video on that so we know exactly what's going on. But for right now, we don't know exactly what those materials and requirements are going to be. Now, along with this content update, of course, we're going to have Season 3 for New World, which is essentially their Battle Pass type feature. And for anyone that is currently playing the game or has played the game in a recent few months, Ward, Bane, Resilience and Expertise have all been removed. So for Banes, they're increasing the base damage of magic and ranged weapons in PvE to make them more effective alternatives to melee options against multiple enemies. For Wards, they're making adjustments on the AI and encounter side to account for the removal of their defensive and offensive benefits. And for Resilience, we've added a crit reduction to all players via the equip load effects. So light will be a minus 15%, medium will be minus 20%, and heavy will be minus 25% crit reduction. Current items with this perk will receive the health perk instead, which increases the player's health as a certain percentage of their base health. So again, that is a big change to PvP. And then for Expertise, they're making adjustments to the gear score drops of all creatures based on their levels. So i.e. if you're wanting to get this new 700 gear score when it is released, you're going to want to go up to the brand new zone where they're going to be higher level 65 plus monsters that you're going to be able to kill, and then obviously get the gear drops that you are wanting there. Now also, we're going to have seasonal events such as the Night Vale Hello and Turkey Terror, with the Turkey Lawn coming back for another year, which is fantastic because that is such a fun event. Now, I will leave a link in the description of today's video to the official post from the New World website if you do want to check out some of the FAQs in terms of this update. But some of the information that is important to know is There is a question here of how will New World Rise of the Angry Earth impact my ability to join players who do not own the expansion, and it says here that New World Rise of the Angry Earth is the only way for players to experience the Elysian Wild Zone, the Primal Fury Heart Rune, the Savage Divides Expedition, the Flail Weapon, Artifact Gear, Mounts, Progression Updates, and the revamped mutations. All other modes, events and quests will remain accessible for everyone to enjoy together. So if you want to experience any of the new stuff, you are going to have to purchase this expansion in order to get hands on with it. There's also changes coming to the revamped mutations with this expansion. It says to further improve mutations as an endgame activity, we've revamped the experience for level 65 players. As a result, you will need to purchase Rise of the Angry Earth and max out your character level to enter mutated expeditions. Based on player feedback, mutations will have 3 difficulties and a weekly limit of 100 mutations. This added accessibility means less time waiting for groups and more opportunities for players to help less experienced adventurers. Players can also look forward to a more desirable endgame rewards. For example, players that complete elite mutations will have a chance to earn artifacts, which is the brand new 700 gear score drop items. Here's the difficulty breakdown. So there's intermediate, which requires 650 gear and includes mutations. There is hard, which requires 675 gear score and includes mutations and promotions. And then elite, which requires 700 gear score and includes mutations, promotions, and curses. So you can think of like them in the zones of maybe level 1 to 5, then 5 to 8, and then 8 to 10 being the elite there if you want to, in terms of the old system for anyone that is coming back to the game. But that's a great way to see that you're going to be able to get some artifacts as well when you complete those elite ones, which is fantastic. So we could earn some extra good gear there. Now, it is also worth noting for the PTR for this, for anyone that is interested and wants to get hands-on with this update a little bit early. I don't know in what capacity, whether the full array of content is going to be available, but it does say when the PTR opens up, they're going to be posting it on the social media, and they're going to look forward to hearing feedback on the following, which is going to be the new zone, the main story quest of the update, the changes to the Eden Grove and Great Cleave main story, because they've had a story crest revamp, the brand new expedition, the horse mounts, so that's probably saying that the lion and the direwolf are not going to be in the PTR, but we can at least experience mounts. Artifacts, which are the brand new 700 gear score equipment. Flail, which is the brand new weapon. The weapon and perk changes, because obviously with the brand new gear score going up to 700 as the maximum, we are going to see a lot more attribute points as well there, so we've had some different changes in between that. The brand new heart rune, the new trade skill changes, and of course with mounts we are seeing a mount trade skill being added to the game as well. The new influence race and the season 3 rewards track. So all in all, this update seems like it could be a lot of fun for New World, and for me personally, I haven't played the game in a while because I had completed most of the content. However, seeing this announcement has led me to go back onto the game and start sorting out some of my inventories, getting a few weapons leveled up, although it is worth noting that that is also having a revamp with this update. They are changing the way that weapon mastery and weapon XP works, so that it's going to be less of a grind. So if you are someone coming back to the game, personally, my advice would be to wait until the update drops to actually level up your weapons, because it's going to be much better. And of course that means for anyone that does want to pick up the flail, we should see a more smooth line experience with that. In terms of mounts, like I said there, we have got the lion, the direwolf, and the horse. They are going to come in various iterations with several different physical alterations you can make in terms of the skin of the mount, but in terms of speed, it's going to be completely consistent across your character depending upon your riding trade skill level. Now, we know so far that you're going to be able to gain XP from the riding skill by eating certain foods which are going to be related to that skill, and then also completing quests such as time trials and touring around the map on a mount, which sounds very, very cool, and that's going to be a new feature added into New World with this update again. So that is going to be how you level up your riding skill, and as you increase that, getting to certain thresholds will make your mount go faster, obviously all the way up until 250 there, where you'll be at the maximum speed. Now, there is quite a lot of other details around the mount, so I may make a future video if that's something you guys are interested in hearing about here on the channel, because they did go into quite a lot of depth with that in the recent Forged in Eternum video up on their channel. But it does sound like a really, really good feature, and it's something we've been talking about here on the channel since very early doors, so I'm excited to see that actually implemented into the game. Seems like it has been done in a very, very good way and a very, very integrated way with the game, which is fantastic stuff. So let me know what your guys' thoughts and feelings are on this update down below in the comments. What are you looking forward to the most if you are going to be playing it? And other than that, make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys again very, very shortly on a brand new upload. So take care and peace.